Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the state of New Mexico, and these days, Hawaii. So, continuing our expansion into the Aloha State, we have yet another property in Hawaii County. It's another one of these properties that's in a really good location, really close to the shore, to the beach. It's got power, it's got paved road access, it's got a lot of nice features, and so looking forward to talking about it. So, let's get to it. This is reference number HIHI1594, located as noted in Hawaii County. That's the Big Island. This is 1 acre of land in the Ocean View Estates subdivision, and this 1 acre is priced affordably at $6,000, just like our other 1 acre lots. Let's pull this up on a map, show you exactly where this is. As with all of our listing pages here at HemingwayLand.com, just come down here, click on the GPS coordinates, and we'll bring it up here on the Google Maps. So this particular property sits right here off of Lea Parkway. Let's just pull back a little bit, show you where this is in relation to everything else. So this is Hawaii County, aka the Big Island. Hilo is up here. And the specific property is down here in the southern end of the island. It's in Ocean View, close to Pahala, close to the shores of not only South Point Beach, but also down here you have the green sand beach of Papakolea. And the black sand beaches are up here in Punalu'u Black Sand Beach. Additionally, in pretty close proximity to Miloli Beach. Anywho, so this specific property, as we zoom in here, what you're going to see, you have the Hawaiian Beltway here, the Route 11 that goes around the island. And just north of that, you've got this thing carved out here on the side of the Mauna Loa volcano. This is Hawaiian Ocean View Estates. This is the subdivision. And like a lot of subdivisions that we buy land in New Mexico, and as we continue to expand into Hawaii, this is one of these regions where a developer came in many decades back, bought up thousands of acres of land, subdivided it all. In this particular instance, chopped everything up into 1 acre lots, which I think is a pretty generous portion, particularly when you look at how other developments are subdivided out here in Hawaii. You get a lot of 1/10 of an acre, 2/10 of an acre type properties, but you don't get a lot of whole 1 acre lots. This whole subdivision are all 1 acre lots. So anyway, chopped them all up in 1 acres, resold them, etc., etc. I think that this community was expanding slowly over the course of a number of decades, and then this volcano erupted back in the mid-'80s. It's been dormant since, but what happened was after the volcano went off and destroyed a lot of homes in the region, the owners out here, the homeowners out here, decided to kind of put together a nonprofit homeowners association that would rebuild the region bigger and better than it had been before. So one of the things they started to do was, number one, paved all the roads throughout this subdivision. So this is a big deal. You don't you don't see this a lot, number one. Number two, you don't see it in regions where the elevation goes from 4,000 to 7,000 feet. I mean, to have all of this land, all of these roads paved like that, that's pretty remarkable, number one. Number two, the other thing they did was they got power going all throughout the subdivision. That's why you don't just see a dense concentration of homes down by the highway and nothing up here. It's why you see people who are living really all throughout this region, etc. So I'm going to call it a homeowners association. It's not totally a homeowners association, but we'll call it that. This HOA did a couple other things that were very beneficial for this community and have been over the last 35 years. We'll get into that a little bit more in the video. Let's talk first about where exactly this specific property is. So, as noted, it's here off of Lea Parkway, just west of Pineapple Circle, Maka. So let's go to the plat map first. So first off, this is the shape of the lot right here. To give you a sense of exactly what the proportions are. All of the blocks out here are sort of designed like this, where you have 3 types of 1 acre lots. You either have these super skinny ones, these medium-sized ones, or these larger ones. I think this is the most enviable dimensions for a lot. This, however, is, this is nice. This is manageable. This is good. I think this is better than these super skinny lots. Whatever the case, if you come back to our listing page and you scroll down here to the, we've got the plat map here in the gallery. So first we have these Google Earth representations of the general size, shape, location of the lot. But then as you go through this, what you'll see is also the plat map, which will reiterate what you're looking at here on Google Maps. So that's the shape, size, and location of the lot. Now I should just note, if we zoom in here on the road to the least flattering images of Hawaii ever photographed, what you'll see is that power comes all the way down Lea Parkway. It actually ends right here, basically right at the property line. of the subject property. As you can see, there's another power line right here on your property boundary. There's a homeowner who you can't really see here in this image. Let's go back to this. But if you come down here to our photo gallery, you can get a sense of what this area is like, starting roughly around this photo. If you start to scroll through here, you can see what the region is like, and you can see this road, as we just showed you, power sort of stopping right by the property line, not extending down the road. And there's power right there. Anyways, you can go through this, you can get a sense of the property, the terrain, the surroundings, etc. But speaking specifically about the neighbor, we have this photo down here, gives you a sense of what the neighbor's property looks like. So this looks like a pretty nicely designed home. And here you can see they have the water catchment tank that is very popular in this region. That is the way that all the residents who live out here really get water to their properties. So anyway, we'll get to that in a bit. Point being, so two of the nice things about this property, as already discussed, number one, paved road access, number two, power at the lot line, etc. The other nice thing is, as I had pointed out earlier, is close proximity just to the shores. I mean, first of all, you're in Hawaii, so you're, what are you at this point? Maybe 30 minutes, 30-minute walk, ride, hike down to these, beautiful beaches that you have here on all three sides. So, that's a big deal. Furthermore, as you come down here to South Point Beach into these, follow these trails down here, you're going to come to a region that's very popular for, cliff diving, snorkeling, fishing, etc. So there's going to be a lot to do down here in this region if it wasn't obvious already just by the fact that you're buying land in Hawaii. But obviously a lot of nice stuff. Anyway, I just want to come back up here and talk a little bit more about this. So as I was saying earlier, the Homeowners Association out here, we have their links right here. You can click on this. It'll take you to their website. This is their site right here. If you want to read more about them, about what they do, about how they enhance the community, and just about what services they provide for people who live out there, this is going to be an excellent resource for you. So if you're looking at this property like, do I want to purchase it, do I not want to purchase it, this is a good source of information, number one. Number two, also here we have the Hawaiian Ocean View Estates Road Maintenance Corporation. So these are the people who started rebuilding these roads decades back and who still maintain them to this day. Now, I said earlier I was reluctant to call this an HOA because it's not an HOA in the typical sense that they collect money every month and look for ticky-tack reasons to fine you for things. They don't charge an HOA fee. That's being said, aside from the annual taxes, which are $200, you also have the annual road maintenance fees, which total roughly about $150 a year. So that's really the only additional thing that you pay owning this property aside from property taxes. Whatever the case, click on either one of these links and it's going to bring up their respective websites where you can do some research into things. Now, one of the things that I would point out here is, so as you can see in the gallery, if you come down here and you look at photos of the land, like a lot of the property out here, this land is a combination of lava rock and ohi'a trees. So obviously, and there's the road right there. So obviously, if you're going to build on this property, there's going to be a lot of landscaping that needs to be done, a lot of grading that needs to be done. This HOVE Road Maintenance Association, they actually rent out things like this, or will come and sort of grade the land for you. They're one of the entities that does this out here. Because obviously this is a big thing that people require in this area. As we note up here in the table, this is a grubbing and grading permit is what you need for this. So just FYI, but it's very easy to maintain from the county. We did a little bit of digging on that, and the county says, yeah, sure, if you own land out there, not a problem. So point being, that's going to be one of the things that you're going to have to deal with just when you immediately purchase the properties. If you're going to be building out there, you're going to be living out there, you're going to want to do some grading. You're going to need to get a bulldozer in there and get rid of a lot of that lava rock and such that's out there. FYI. Anyway, additionally, a couple other things we want to talk about here is we also have some other helpful links here that'll talk about, point you in places you can do some more research on your own about things. So, for instance, we mentioned water catchment before. Obviously, there are no underground water lines on the side of a volcano. The way that people get water out here is it's a tropical climate. It rains a lot. So rainwater catchment systems are a big thing out here. So if you want to do a little more digging on that, the Hawaii Department of Health, their website, let me make sure I'm clicking on the right thing. Hang on. Nope, wrong one. This one. Here we go. They have a lot of information just about rainwater catchment systems, about making sure that it's, quality drinking water that you're going to be that you're going to have for, you know, the home that you're building out there. Additionally, here's this helpful PDF, which is very, very dry. You probably won't want to read it, but we've provided it anyway. Or if you just have questions about how rainwater catchment systems work in general and what you need to be aware of, you can call a company like this Waterworks, that services this area and comes out and builds these things on the properties. They can probably answer a lot of your questions about that and assuage whatever fears you have about something like that. Anywho, additionally, I just want to point out that also here on the listing page we have some helpful links of just things that you can do in this area. If you're not familiar with Hawaii, if you haven't been out there before, but you're really tempted by the idea of buying land out there, particularly as an investment or particularly as, you know, do some sort of Airbnb type of thing, these are some helpful links of just things to do in the local area, of just to make you more aware of that. So first we've got the Big Island Travel Guide. This is a pretty comprehensive site. It's got a lot of information here about things that you can do out there, you know, not just the beaches. But then, of course, we've linked you also to the beaches website, so the Punalu'u Beach and the Papakolea Beach. Read more about those, learn about everything that's available to you out there, etc. I like these Hawaii properties. I like offering these Hawaii properties for a couple reasons. Number one is, and I'm going to come down to the photo gallery here while I talk. Number one is that you've got a pretty easy entrance into the Hawaiian real estate market. It's hard to find lots this big at prices this inexpensive, number one. So that's one of the first benefits of property like this. So if you're looking to start getting into investment, just buying this for $6 and trying to resell it for 10 or something, it's probably going to be pretty easy for you to do. Or buying for $6 and, you know, reselling for 10, but maybe you sell on terms and you make $15,000 over the long haul, etc. Or if you're one of these people who's starting to venture into Airbnb and you know that you want to put, you know, a home somewhere and rent it out, obviously Hawaii, major tourism spot. You know, it's going to be pretty easy to buy a property like this, build something out there, and then after a certain period of time start to collect a passive stream of income from it, etc. By the way, all the pictures that I'm showing you here of these things that we're passing through, this is the entrance to Ocean View Estates, and all the stores and shops that I was showing you. I spoke earlier about how the community had sort of rebuilt itself after that volcano erupted back in the mid-'80s. And one of the things that they did was they attracted business to the area. These are all photos from this region. They attracted businesses to this area to help service this small community. I think at the time there wasn't a lot that was out here. If you zoom in here on Highway 11, you're going to see where exactly the things I just showed you in that photo gallery are. Things like the market, things like that hardware store, as well as the, you know, another market, the bakery, bar and grill over here, etc. I'm trying to zoom in enough that these things will actually appear on the map. They're not. Anyway, point being, all these things right down here at the base of the community, right here along the 11. So you're going to have easy access to all those amenities that we just showed you, from everything from, you know, hardware store to groceries to shopping to veterinarian to the bank, etc. to, you know, just churches. I mean, this is a pretty thriving little community down here. So they have things like what I just showed you with the Little League field and the churches, etc. Anyway, with all that said, please take the time to review this photo gallery at your leisure on your own time. We've got a lot of nice images here of the property. It's going to give you a sense of exactly what you would be purchasing, as well as these first few rows of photos up here, which will reiterate a lot of just what's available within easy driving distance, what this community is like. All right, with all that said, if you are interested in purchasing this property, we would encourage you to come up here, click the Buy Now button. We'll tell you how this process works. You click this, it's going to bring up this checkout page. So we're asking for $6,000 plus the $150, the obligatory $150 document preparation fee. We're going to ask you what name you want on the deed, name or names. In Hawaii, we need to know the marital status of the person or persons who are going to be on the deed. Fill those two things out. A couple other fields here, including your tax address, where Hawaii County is sending the annual tax bill. Agree to the terms of service. Click Next. On the next page, you can enter credit or debit card information to purchase the property. So the way that this works, generally when we're selling New Mexico properties, is that we write the deed, we get the deed to you within 24 hours. Hawaii is a little different. We talk about this process down here. We're doing an attorney close on these properties. So encourage you to read this, but basically what it shakes out to is you buy the property, we're going to contact our attorney, we're going to have them draft up the new deed plus all the assorted conveyance documentation that's required. Hawaii is a little more complicated than New Mexico. So I don't know how to do this yet, so I'm farming it out to professionals. Whatever the case, they're going to produce that. They're going to say they'll have it done in 24 hours. Realistically, I would expect it to be about 72 or 96 hours before you see that. Whatever the case, we'll be in contact with you during that time. And once we have a copy of all of that documentation, we're going to present it to you in an email. Make sure you approve it, make sure we spelled your name right, so on and so forth. Once you say it's good, we're going to autograph it, notarize it, mail it off to our attorney, who's going to get everything recorded in the Hawaii Bureau of Conveyance. And then within a week or two, you will have recorded copies of those deeds, of that documentation. Yada, yada, yada. As far as we are concerned, however, once you give us the money, the property is yours. So if you're in Hawaii and you want to go there and you want to start camping, you want to start building, as far as we're concerned, go nuts, be our guest. If you are skeptical at all about giving $6,000 to a website with a disembodied voice on the video here, that's fine. You can close through a title company. I will just let you know that if you do elect to do that, you are going to be responsible for all of the closing costs. By the way, if you come up here to how it works, this buying from us page, down here, the second category here, type of closing, title, escrow, this is how we would handle such a thing like this. We would draft up a sale purchase agreement. You can see a copy of one of our generic standard purchase agreements that we use. We would draft up something like this. I'm not sure why that's appearing that way. And then basically we sign it, you sign it, we submit it to the title company, and they do the rest. I will, however, warn you in advance, title escrow fees in Hawaii are very expensive, and you are likely to pay, hello, there we go. You are likely to pay probably an additional $2,000 on top of the purchase price of the property if you do elect to close through title escrow. At least that's what I was being quoted by title companies down there, though feel free to call around if you like. Anyway, we'd encourage you to do the attorney close. But yeah. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email, support@hemingwayland.com, leave a comment here on the YouTube, or give us a call, 702-919-7170. I have a lot to say about these properties. I don't know if I am able to communicate it all in the most efficient and eloquent manner possible in these videos, but I'd encourage you guys to explore the links that we have provided, explore the photo gallery. I think you'll learn some more. And if you have any more specific questions, feel free to give us a call. I do my best here in these videos, but I riff stream of conscious, so sometimes it's not the world's greatest. Anyway, all right, guys, thanks for watching. We will see you in the next video.